What's up everybody, Bene here, and thanks for tuning in to quick tip number 2. This week we're going to be talking about straight tone versus subtone when playing the saxophone. If you're subscribed to my email list, last week's email I talked about a technique that helps with air support that deals with the straight tone on the saxophone rather than the subtone on the saxophone. And if you're unclear about what those are, this video should clear it up for you. So subtone is a technique and an effect that will favor the lower harmonics of the saxophone tone and dampen some of the higher harmonics. It's used a lot in jazz music and in contemporary styles of saxophone playing. Characteristics of the subtone is usually a bit more breathy sound, a huskier sound, and an earthy tone. Mixed with vibrato and certain nuances, you can get effects like this. Check out Ben Webster for some serious subtone saxophone playing. Now, straight tone is kind of the default sound of the saxophone in my opinion. It doesn't boost the low end like subtone does, and you can achieve a really even sound throughout all frequencies. Characteristics of a straight tone would be clear, centered, refined, and just a clean sound. If you want to hear just straight tone with absolutely no subtone, listen to any classical saxophone player. It's technically an improper technique to play with a subtone when playing classical music. Now, there may be exceptions to some of the contemporary composers writing for saxophone music, but in how I was taught, you do not use subtone when playing classical music because you need a nice, clean, refined sound like this. I got my classical mouthpiece on now. There you go. In jazz music, though, there is also straight tone used, and there's usually just a kind of a mix of straight tone and subtone. A saxophonist to check out who uses a little bit more of the straight tone would be Johnny Hodges, which is a saxophonist no longer alive, but he kind of got a little more of a drier sound, a cleaner sound. Kind of like that, but it's not completely straight. There's a little bit of that subtone in his sound. So there's varying levels of subtone to straight tone. You could be full out subtone, or you could be full out straight tone, or you can kind of mix a little in between. You know, it's sound. You can be flexible with it. All right, so next week I'm going to be talking about actually the technique on how to get to these sounds with how to shape the embouchure. So here's my spiel. Make sure to subscribe so you get that video and future videos. If you want to get a little bit more in-depth look at what I'm talking about in these videos, be sure to click in the link in the description below. You also get some free sheet music when you sign up. All right, thanks for watching. I will see you next week.